Welcome to 24 Markets Powering the $23 trillion opportunity, the transformative impact of the disability market. My name is Jourdan Saunders. Today, I'm going to break down the industries where accessibility is driving massive innovation, and more importantly, how these industries intersect to create transformative opportunities for businesses, investors, and change makers like you. By the end of these 20 minutes, you'll gain a clear understanding of why the disability market is a powerful driver of innovation across industries. While we will take a deep dive into a few key sectors, you'll also receive a handout covering 24 industries where accessibility is creating transformative opportunities. More importantly, you'll walk away with a fresh perspective on how accessibility is shaping not only now, but the future, and actionable insights on how you can leverage it to drive impact, innovation, and success in your field. Before we get started, I would love to share a little bit more about myself. My name is Jourdan Saunders, and I've worked across 10 different industries, and I've always been fascinated by how seemingly unrelated markets overlap to create better experiences, products, and services. I've worked with over 300 organizations and had more than 150 deep dive conversations about inclusion, accessibility, and innovation. And honestly, I am the person who you will meet that spends hours researching one concept, digging into the patterns and connections most people may overlook. That's why I created this webinar, so you don't have to spend hours researching like I do. I've done the work, and now I get to share it, what I've learned, with you in a way that's clear, practical, and actionable. I also have aphantasia, which means if I close my eyes right now and try to visualize a horse, it's black. So an image of a horse doesn't appear in my mind. So I can't visualize images in my mind. I work through word clouds and deep pattern recognition and connections between industries that might not seem related at first glance, or concepts that might not seem related. I love seeing the hidden intersections that drive massive change across industries. So let's dive in. We are going to use JS, our fictional character, for the purpose of this webinar. His story represents real-life challenges and opportunities that many people experience at the intersection of accessibility, technology, and innovation. I want you to meet JS. He's 62 years old, he's still working, and he loves staying active. He enjoys working on his job, enjoys going out with his friends, and he likes to travel whenever he can. JS also has a hearing loss in his right ear, but here's the thing. He doesn't consider himself to have a disability. He sees it as something he manages, like wearing glasses or using a smartwatch. And JS isn't alone. By 2034, seniors will outnumber children. And the disability market and the senior market overlap more than people realize. Many of the solutions designed for people with disabilities naturally become essential for aging populations. Think about it. Voice-to-text technology, smart home automation, artificial intelligence, AI-powered hearing aids. These are not just disability tools. They are shaping the way we interact with the world. This isn't just a demographic shift, it's an economic shift. The $23 trillion disability market is actively driving innovation across industries, and companies that understand this intersection are positioning themselves to lead not only now, but the future. So I get a lot of questions surrounding Jourdan, what are these key shifts driving the disability market and senior market growth? Well, there are many drivers, but I will share three: the landscape of aging, accessibility, and innovation are changing over the past few decades. Three major economic and technological shifts are driving the expansion of the disability and senior markets today. One, seniors are staying in the workforce longer. So, what's changed? Well, older adults are working past traditional retirement age more than we've seen previously. In the past, some people would retire when they reach their early 60s. But today, many seniors or older adults are choosing or needing to stay employed into their 70s and beyond. Number two, longevity. People are living longer and aging differently. What has changed with that? Well, there's been advances in medicine, healthcare, lifestyle awareness. People are living longer, healthier lives, but that also means they may require better long-term solutions to maintain independence. Three, technology now overlaps with every industry and every task. I remember when there was a time where I used to say, "Oh, I'm not in tech," but now we all are essentially in tech because all of our industries are overlapping technology and using technology in some capacity. So what's changed with that? Well, technology used to be separate from daily life, but today it's embedded in everything we do from the moment we wake up. Every industry incorporate some type of technology, from finance to fitness, healthcare to entertainment, depends on different digital tools that must be accessible to be able to reach a wider range of users. All right, so let's go into a few examples. So we're going back to our friend JS that I shared a little bit about. We're going to start in healthcare and assistive technology. So what are the intersections there? I have my notepad here, my paper. So we have JS. Okay. So let's take JS. So JS wants to maintain independence and manage age-related health concerns. So that leads us to the age tech market. So innovations that would be tailored for older adults would benefit JS to help maintain his independence and manage age-related health concerns. The next market we're looking at, still related to JS in the area of healthcare and assistive technology, would be the assistive technology market. Well, where does that come in for JS's life? Well, devices like artificial intelligence, AI-powered hearing aids improve JS's ability to communicate effectively in different environments. Now, speech and communication technologies market. A real-time speech-to-text and captioning can help JS better engage in conversations, particularly in telehealth settings. We also have JS relies on his hearing aid. Background noise and overlapping conversations still create challenges. So that's the hearing aids and assistive listening devices industry. JS struggles to hear and communicate, so that leads him possibly feeling frustrated and socially isolated and cognitive strain. So that connects back to mental health and cognitive support technologies industry. JS uses a smartwatch or a health tracker with vibration alerts to help him stay on top of his health throughout the day. That would be the wearables and health monitoring devices market. Last, when we're looking at healthcare and assistive technology and what markets overlap, If JS develops balance issues related to hearing loss, rehabilitation and physical therapy technologies can support his mobility. So that would be the rehabilitation and physical therapy technologies market. All right, so there we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 markets that we looked at using JS. Okay, so using JS, and we looked at these all are intersecting with every day. So those are 7 different markets that would intersect or overlap with JS. What does this look like when we're looking at JS's life and everyday life? JS may log into a virtual doctor's appointment for his annual checkup, but right away, he may struggle to keep up because his doctor is speaking quickly. There's background noise in his home, and his hearing aid is amplifying the wrong sounds. At the same time, the doctor is asking him about his overall health, including whether he has noticed any balance difficulties, which can be a common concern for individuals with hearing loss. JS really hadn't thought much about this before, but now he's realizing how hearing, balance, and physical health are all connected. So that leads us back to an everyday example that incorporates those 7 different markets that I discussed that relate back to JS in his everyday life. Why does this matter? When we look at this from every day, someone may look at JS and say, oh, okay, well, he has a hearing loss, and so he has hearing aids. So that's it. He doesn't need any other supports in his everyday life or at work or when he goes out into the community. Well, this example really shows us how, because of technology too rapidly changing and it overlaps everyday life, really we have about 7 different markets we just discussed that JS is that is intersecting at in his everyday life. And how when we look at even bigger picture, these innovations are shaping how we all experience healthcare. So I can think of telehealth with captions. They may not only benefit JS, they may benefit people that anyone that may be accessing telehealth. And this is also goes back to why accessibility is driving innovation. So it's not just solving one problem, it's shaping the future of how we live, work, and connect. And let's go into, I stated earlier, JS is still working, he's on the job, and he uses a lot of different tools for productivity in his everyday work that he does. So let's look at that. We're talking about workplace. So JS is in workplace. Let's look at the different markets. So we have employment and workplace accessibility technology. So that could be an industry, right? That's an industry of tools that enhance the workplace, accessibility, helping employees of all different types of abilities and based on whatever their needs are. So that would be one industry that we would look at. Speech and communication technologies. Okay, JS would benefit from captioning. He uses captioning and transcription tools to help him follow along conversations and meetings. Hands-free solutions enable JS to work more efficiently. So voice technology is a market. Digital accessibility services, workplace platforms integrating accessibility features like screen readers and contrast adjustments. That may be something that JS may need on his job. Learning and education technology markets, all the professional developments that JS needs to stay current on in the workforce based on the role he's doing. Continuous professional development is evolving to include accessible training programs. And then the last one that we could look at in this area would be autonomous and artificial intelligence, AI-driven accessibility tools. So AI tools helping to improve workplace communication and reducing barriers for employees like JS on his job. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different markets that we touch related to how JS may utilize different types of technology in his workday. I brought up those different markets as it relates to JS. What does this look like in his everyday life? Well, let's say JS is logging in for his virtual team meeting, but as the discussions get fast-paced, he starts missing important details. People are speaking over each other in this virtual meeting, and background noise makes it harder for him to focus. He's finding himself struggling to keep up, and by the end of the meeting, he is exhausted from the extra effort it's taking to process everything. Later in the day, JS needs to draft a detailed report, but typing for long periods of time leads to fatigue or him feeling tired. He wonders if there's a better way to work more efficiently without adding extra strain or him feeling just fatigued by the end. As we look at this, we looked at healthcare and now we're looking at workplace. If we're going through this, you may be thinking, oh, okay. So just put a 1 in the chat if you're really understanding. Maybe in the beginning you were thinking, well, I really don't understand all of the market overlaps. And now you're thinking, oh, I may experience that, or maybe I know someone, or I can see now from that perspective. Put a 1 in the chat if you can, and you are starting to understand all of these different connections. This just kind of reiterates to why companies that are investing in accessibility are creating workplaces that are more efficient, adaptable, and ready for now, also looking into the future preparing. So future ready as well. The third area that we're going to touch on, we're still following our friend JS. JS, he's home from a long day at work. We're going to look at smart home and aging tech. So JS is home. He's at his house. I drew a picture of a house and him inside. And we're looking at smart home and aging tech. And what are the intersections that overlap? JS gets home and he uses voice activated systems that help him to be able to manage his home. That is smart home and accessibility technologies market. Tools like AI enhanced lighting that JS uses at home and smart alerts allow him to be able to navigate at home easier and also allow him for that independence that we talked about earlier that he wants to continue. This is vision assistant technology market. Wearable and health monitoring devices. He uses a smartwatch, so that's helpful for him. He has different emergency alerts that help as he continues to age, allow him to be able to live independently. Mobility assistant devices, that's another one that would goes hand in hand with wearables and health monitoring devices, which ensure safety and independence with the wearable devices. All right, the last area that we're looking at are caregiver technologies and services industry. So what does that look like? Well, JS is connected, let's say, to his daughter. So the connected home devices allow caregivers. So, like if JS connected his daughter to a device that they have, that would allow, if he needed the support, she has access to assist him remotely. If we look at the smart home and aging tech that we just went over, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different markets that we discussed. That was our last area, big picture, that we're going to cover because we're starting to run out of time. And I wanted to leave room for one of the questions that we had. I am energized. I don't know about you, but you may be at the point where you're starting to make those connections and you're really saying, okay, I want to go and just sit with this information and really understand it even more, because there are so many different overlaps and intersections. So I do want to talk about just that every day. What does it look like in real time from JS when we talked about him still wanting to be able to live independently in some of those smart home and aging tech? JS does love living independently, but sometimes he misses the doorbell ringing or forgets to turn off appliances after a long day at work. Remember, he's tired from work, fatigued, and so he's getting home. He used one of the appliances and maybe he forgets to turn it off sometimes. He doesn't think of himself as someone who needs home modifications, but he's starting to see how small accessibility upgrades could make his life easier. Why does this all matter? Well, JS, if we look at all those different examples in the different markets and just what it looks like in real time, if we think about even maybe things that we may use at home, what are those things helping us do? Okay, independence. Our home is becoming more intuitive, safer, adapting to our evolving needs. Notice I did not say only in the moment is this piece of technology supporting me. Technology is starting to move where it's only in the moment till it's going to evolve and be able to age with us. The home JS's home is becoming more intuitive, safer, adaptive to his evolving needs without him feeling like he has to make more drastic changes or he has to feel fatigued because he has to do even more even with this technology. Because of the technology being able to support him where he's at, it's intuitive. It doesn't feel like a fatigue for him. It's actually helping him to be more independent. This just isn't for JS. Smart home technology is really transforming how we all interact with our living spaces. We're just going to step back, look at the big picture as we close out. Accessibility is not a niche area, it's mainstream, it's driving innovation. When businesses invest in accessibility, they're not just helping one group, they're creating scalable solutions that are benefiting everyone. This is such a huge moment to be able to lead at the intersection of accessibility, technology, and impact. If anyone is able to, drop a 1 if you are excited and if you are ready to lead at the intersection of accessibility, technology, and impact, right? You want to be the change maker. You want to be on the forefront. You want to lead. You don't want to wait until you have to do something more, or you don't want to wait until someone else tells you. You want to actually utilize this moment to be able to lead and feel confident leading this because you have the tools right where you are. So what do these next steps look like? Well, we are going to save time for a question that I get a lot, and also too from questions that have been submitted. We will save time for that, but I do want to close out and If this conversation resonated with you and you're ready to move from awareness, right? Because this was awareness piece if you weren't as aware of all of these different markets and all of the different things that are happening. So if you want to move from this awareness and you are energized to move into action, but you still want more guidance, you don't feel confident enough to be able to do that, I invite you to join me for the Lead at Your Intersections Challenge. It is a 5-day experience. It is for my action leaders who are ready to implement. This is not for you if you want to collect more information or more trainings. This webinar is a good start. And also we have other information and materials that you can collect, but this challenge is really to implement, to go and implement an action, because every day we will be doing something that requires one type of action at the end. So it's a personalized roadmap for scalable solutions. You will learn how to leverage some of the markets that we discussed without feeling overwhelmed. You will position yourself as a future ready leader in innovation and accessibility. And we do have limited seats because we want it to really be for people that are ready to take action. And we want to make sure that it's valuable to you, the information that you are getting. I want to touch on, as we close out, I said we would leave time for a question. The question that we got was, let me just read it here. How do I start implementing these insights without feeling overwhelmed or like I have to change everything at once? Put a 1 in the chat if this is relatable to you. I know for me, this was relatable in the beginning when I started the resource key, because I felt like I needed to get it right the first time, have everything accessible. And let me tell you, to this day, I am still learning and growing, and I have amazing partners and community leaders, and we work together. But it is something that is so relatable. If you are watching this, you may have the same question. Great question. And honestly, the truth is you don't have to do everything at once to make a big impact. The key really is to start where you are and leverage what you already have. Many businesses and professionals think accessibility requires a massive overhaul, but in reality, the small intentional shifts can create lasting change as well. I'll give you one example. We talked about healthcare. Remember JS, telehealth appointments. So if you're in healthcare, a great way to be able to, one thing, that action would be to make sure you have captions on your telehealth appointments, those digital platforms that you're using. Just enable those captions, because whether every patient uses it or not, it's going to benefit someone. So it can be one of those things you just automatically do. And that is something small, but it's sustainable. You're making a lasting impact because it becomes part of your process. When a telehealth appointment happens, you know to have those captions. That is one example of something that could seem small, but it's intentional. It is lasting and change, and it has a big impact, right? For people, someone like JS or someone that just wants the captions on. It can really help with that experience. Questions like that, and just like those action-oriented questions of how do I implement? I have so many things that I'm thinking of right now after this webinar. I'm energized. I want to like get ready and implement. So I do invite you to join us for the Lead at the Intersection Challenge. You can get started, make an impact. It doesn't have to feel overwhelming. And I would love to see you there. Thank you all for joining, and I look forward to seeing you at the next challenge. I will see you there.